Okay, everybody, so this is the second video lecture on the chapter 1 of the sociological perspective. In a previous video lecture, I just introduced what we meant by the sociological perspective, and I wrapped up emphasizing what we mean by connecting the personal with connect your personal biography with history, the idea of the personal troubles and social forces, right? So I'm really trying to drive home what we mean by the sociological imagination. The sociological perspective is the big picture stuff. And because we don't live our life right looking down on society, we live our life as an individual. That's why it has to be this imagination, right? Because it really is asking you to look beyond yourself and look at the forest instead of the trees, so to speak. So this slide has some other really important sociological concepts relevant to the sort of the introduction. So one of them is like what we talk about, the global versus the local. Again, we live our life on a local individual level, but the sociological perspective invites you to think about the global relationship to the things that we do locally, right? In other words, when I go to my local coffee shop, do we consider where that coffee comes from? Probably isn't grown in the United States. There's only one state in the whole country that makes coffee, and that's Hawaii. Or when I get bananas, do I think about how far those bananas were imported? Or when I go to my local retailer, do I look at the tags on the items and consider or contemplate, like, what's the local place like in the global village where those things are made, right? So again, we live our life at the individual local level, but I'm asking you to think globally, to think about the big picture, because what I do as an individual does have global implications. Another idea or pair of ideas that kind of goes along with this is this idea of intended versus unintended. And, we do a lot. I mean, we go through our day and we act, and because we have an intended outcome, but because social is about looking for the things that we don't that are not obvious, sometimes those unintended consequences of our intended behavior are not obvious. And that's really what this is about. It's about, sometimes I think maybe it's in the next slide, sociology is the look again, right? In other words, that's what you think you see, but what is, but what else is going on, right, in that situation? A friend of mine likes to say, she goes around and trains people how to be, good teachers. And, she'll say to a room full of instructors, we're quick to want to say to our student, like, what's wrong with you? And she says, we shouldn't be asking that, but instead ask the question, what happened to you? So it's kind of like the intended versus the unintended consequences, right? Like, what are the consequences? Well, what went on in your life? Now, okay, moving on. Another really important pair of terms, you might want to circle these next two. I'm likely to ask you about them somewhere along the way, is this idea of structure and agency. Structure and agency. So let's start with agent. Agency is something that moves, right? So if you think about like a cleaning agent or an insurance agent, or an agent for an artist or something, they're the cleaning agent is the chemical that does the cleaning, right? So that's agency is action, and in this case we're talking about personal action. People have agency. They have the ability to move, the ability to act. Structure is what limits our ability to act. So we live our life like your house is a structure, or our government is a structure because it has laws, and within that structure of the law, within that structure of a house, our movement is limited, right? So structure and agency. We have our social structure is where I'm at in society. Where I'm at in society influences my personal agency, influences how I can move about. If I live in a community that is structured with lots of public transportation, then it's probably easier for me to move about because I can take public transportation. If I live in a community where there is no transportation system, if I don't have a car, I can't move about, right? If I live in an economic structure where there are lots of jobs, then I can act as an agent and I can go out and get a job. But if I live in a structure where there are no jobs available, it doesn't matter how I act, I'm not going to find one of those jobs. So structure and agency. Again, you remember the sociological idea here is that I am only, let's see, that I am influenced by all of those other social forces, and the social structure, the laws, the jobs available, the highways, right? That is the social structure, and it limits my ability to move around. I am influenced by other forces, right? Hope that's making some sense what we mean by structure and agency. Another example, if we were in the same room, I would say when you all walked into the classroom and the chairs were all sitting in a certain place, and the chairs are situated at a certain side of the table, that's the structure of the room. That's the social structure. Where you sat, your sitting is the agent, but where you sat was limited by the social structure, right? So we can only do so much. We can only move around so much depending upon the social structure. And the last idea on here is what we mean by social construction. I had to sound that out, make sure I spelled it right. I have a hard time. I get my words, my spelling all mixed up unintentionally. But what social construction means is this means that society creates ideas, that it creates things, and that we collectively give things meaning. I wish I had dug out, if I could pull out a dollar bill out of my purse, right? So a dollar bill is simply a piece of fiber. It's just a piece of fiber, and it's all colored a certain color, and it's got a certain texture. But we as society have collectively given meaning to that item. So we have constructed the concept, if you will, of money. And a perfect example of things that are social constructs is like if I were to go to another country where they have a different currency, this piece of fiber, right, that my culture collectively has constructed to have a certain meaning, I take it to another culture and it has no meaning, because the construction, that other culture hasn't given it the same kind of structure, same kind of, oh my gosh, I'm not very smooth. Another example would be like time. Time is a social construction. We can't touch time, right? Time is not a thing, it's not a tangible thing, but we as a culture have collectively, has socially given the little as a clock goes around, I'm pointing my clock over there, and as the second hand ticks, we have given that meaning, and we interact with this concept of time. We construct it, right? Other things that we'll talk about throughout the rest of the semester, and the reason we mean social construction, this is an important term, is because when we talk about like sex and gender, gender is said to be a social construction. Sex refers to my biology of my body, but all of those things like the jobs that people are interested in, the way women and men wear their hair, the clothes they wear, the way that they talk, all of those things are ideas that society has collectively agreed upon, and we have created this concept of gender. We create concepts, we create ideas, and then we interact with those ideas. We interact with the idea that boys and girls are supposed to do certain things. We interact with the idea of time, and that idea is so powerful, right? It controls what we do, and time is just an idea, right? But because we have collectively as a society created the idea and then reinforced it, it has meaning. Ooh, exciting, very interesting stuff. Okay, I hope that makes some sense. If it doesn't, drop me an email and I will try to explain it in another way. This slide I'll talk a little bit more about in the next video lecture, but it really is just more about why, what's social about and why do I have to take it as a gen ed course, blah, blah, blah. And so I will stop right here and see you in the next lecture.